It's smog so thick it looks like a city in a cloud. And unfortunately for its 14 million residents, Lahore in eastern Pakistan experiences this every winter, though it was just ranked as the most polluted city in the world. Causes are easy to identify, solutions aren't easy to come by. Car and truck pollution, the burning of farm residue, dust from construction, industrial pollution. These are reasons why the city is shrouded in smog. But anti-smog guns are now being utilized in an effort to shoot down some of the toxic elements. They're mounted on trucks and spray a mist of water into the air. It's hoped that'll have a similar effect to rain in washing pollutive particles to the ground. Over the previous couple of years, Pakistan has tried cloud seeding and artificial rainfall in attempts to contain the pollution, but nothing tried so far has fixed the problem. So with 15 anti-smog guns rolling and spraying throughout the city, and more of these possible in the days ahead, Lahore may have a useful new weapon against a relentless old foe. Is increased social media use by kids leading to lower test scores? A recently published study suggests it is, and that's our next subject on The World from A to Z. I'm Azuz. As social media use increases among young people nationwide and beyond, researchers are trying to get a handle on the effects it's having on learning. A team led by a pediatrician at the University of California analyzed test scores of more than 6,500 young people. Researchers asked them about their social media use and followed their test results from ages 9 to 13. The kids were put into three groups: those who didn't use social media, those who used it a little at first and increased as they got older, and those who were using a lot, especially by the time they were teenagers. The study found that in almost every single category of testing, those who used social media had consistently lower reading and memory scores than those who didn't. For the kids who started with just a little social but increased it to an hour a day by age 13, their scores were 1 to 2 points lower on average than the no social media group. For the heavy users who were on social for 3 or more hours by age 13, their scores were 4 to 5 points lower. The study's lead author says it's possible those differences could increase as young people get further into their teen years, but it's only one study that focused only on test scores, not on feelings of belonging or community that can benefit social users. And some analysts say the difference of 1 to 2 points between light and non-users isn't that big a deal. Still, some experts say the findings support the argument that kids under age 13 shouldn't use social media.
Word of knowledge. Which of these American department stores started as a mail-order watch company in the late 1800s? Sears, Macy's, Gimbel's, Bloomingdale's. Starting as a watch company and later founded as a mail-order business that sold all kinds of products was Sears.
From Sears to a school, this building is now a place of learning for thousands of students after their school burned in the January wildfires. This is Palisades Charter High School, a campus so iconic that movies including Carrie and Freaky Friday were filmed there. Today, campus is closed after about 40% of it was damaged in the Palisades fire.
Classrooms needed to be stripped down. Even the ones that survived and that weren't damaged in the fire, they were damaged by smoke.
Pali High Principal Pam McGee said getting kids back to class took priority.
We had been a school of 3,000. Lots of folks were displaced, so we found ourselves with more like 2,500 students.
Up for rent, this closed Sears department store first built in the 1940s.
It's not ideal. It doesn't have walls to the ceiling. It doesn't have doors. We're missing a lot. But we made it work.
We don't have many windows in the classrooms, but it's still the same classmates, still the same teachers.
The Palisades fire destroyed more than 6,800 structures in January.
At least a quarter of my baseball team lost their homes.
Uprooting families across Southern California.
I lost my home. My 2 boys were born in there. We've lost that, but now we've got an opportunity. We're going to try to rebuild.
But some students say what the blaze could not destroy is their sense of community.
I think people are now so much closer together and they can bond over something.
The Pali High community is hoping construction will be complete on its home campus by January of next year.
I think the kids are learning that not everything's perfect, and we will be here to teach you, no matter what that looks like.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
On this date in world history. A famous broadcast of October 30th, 1938 was designed to be fake news, a work of fiction, but it factually scared the daylights out of some American radio listeners. Actor Orson Welles put on a play by H.G. Wells called The War of the Worlds. It was about a Martian invasion and was presented like a newscast. Because so many members of the public thought it was real and terrifying, the U.S. government launched an investigation into the production. Officials determined no laws were broken, but the War of the Worlds served as an eye-opening example about the power of radio communication. And near the end of World War I, the Ottoman Empire surrendered to the Allied powers on this date in 1918. The Armistice of Mudros was signed aboard a British battleship, and it demobilized the Ottoman army and surrendered strategic locations to the Allies. Fighting in the war itself formally stopped on November 11th of that year.
Where in the world? This is a nation widely associated with Western Europe, though it has overseas departments from the Caribbean to the Indian Ocean. Its official language is widely spoken in Belgium, which shares this nation's northern border. This is France, whose capital and largest city is Paris.
Paris is home to some of the world's best chefs, and every good chef is very particular about the set of knives they own. Blades that can cost hundreds of dollars each. It's an investment, but no matter the quality, they all get dull, even after preparing just a few meals. So upkeep is important. Top chefs will usually only entrust their precious knives to skilled craftsmen for sharpening.
A knife that doesn't cut is much more dangerous. It's very paradoxical. A dull knife is less precise, so it can go in all directions.
Flavian Walter Scheid used to work in construction, but he taught himself how to sharpen knives 5 years ago, and now he's made a full-time career out of it.
It's not a profession that's become rare, but it's a profession that's always been a little bit under the radar, and yet it's a service that's really useful.
Walter Scheid typically works with a belt sander, and for really nice knives, he uses a Japanese stone. Another artisan, Michel, sharpens with a whetstone grinder. It uses water to cool the metal and the stone as it hones the blade. Too much heat can actually cause a knife blade to soften and warp. He works out of the back of his van and says it sets his business apart by bringing the service to the customer.
We're there when they want us. As soon as the knives stop cutting, he calls me and I come as soon as possible, usually within 2 to 3 days or the following week.
It might seem extreme for a chef to hire someone to make a house call to sharpen knives. Why not just buy an electric sharpener? But for the pros, the pleasure of using fine knives and the way that they can make or break a culinary masterpiece, well, it's hard to put a price on such things.
We mention a lot of schools from our YouTube comments. Our other main source for the schools we feature is the Request a Shoutout link at worldatz.org. It was there we heard from Mr. Johnson Puma's class at the New Mexico School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. Hello to the Golden Bears of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Mr. Rutkowitz's students are next. From Millbury, Massachusetts, we welcome the Woolies of Millbury Memorial Junior Senior High School. And we hear several teachers are online at J.C. Booth Middle School in Peachtree City, Georgia. Once a warrior, always a warrior. A family in Wisconsin has a piratical Halloween tradition that blends seasonal decorations with a scene reminiscent of the Goonies. You might have to ask your teacher about that. Anyway, their ghastly, ghoulish ghost ship has a new feature this year. You can go below deck, so to speak, actually into their garage, which has been transformed to give a bare bones look at a skeleton crew counting its treasures. It's a sensational seasonal sunset celebration. And it's sure to set tongues scallywagging and timbers shivering at all the vast creativity that gives bilge rats plenty to scurvy their sea legs over while marooned under the quarterdeck, their buckets stuffed to the gunnels with a keel haul of candy as they log the mother load. I'm Carl Azuz for the world from A to Z, and we hope you, me hearties, will sail with us again on Friday.